When it comes to making the NBA, it is one of the most impossible, unattainable goals you can have as a basketball player, as even high school Americans, college champions, have a sliver of a small chance of making the best league in the world.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Now, enter Bronny James, who is the very definition of given, not earned. As so far in his career, he's the most overhyped, overrated second-round pick I've ever seen. And his path to the NBA, it's anything but organic. And when looking at LeBron James for really the past 5 years, he's made it very, very clear numerous times. It is a personal goal of his to play with his son.
Who do you want to play with?
Bronny is number one on my list. That's all I need to hear.
What he's saying to you in your face is, I appreciate what you did,
But back the fuck
I
up.
want to be me.
Yeah, and I love it.
And we're looking at Bronny's so-called college career, which is less than 30 games at USC. I mean, this guy's overall numbers, his shooting splits, they don't scream NBA prospect, first round, second round pick. They scream meh, even for a college player. Under 5 points per game, under 40% from the field, and under 30% from three. Out of the entire roster at USC, the second lowest field goal percentage, second lowest three percentage, and fourth lowest free throw percentage. Long story short, this guy was a brick who had little or no impact on the offensive end.
Let it ride!
And yes, some nice defensive skills, good footwork, he's athletic, he's quick, I get that. But Bronny at the NBA level only being 6'2", not fast enough to guard ones, and not big enough to guard twos. In the simplest terms, Bronny, he's a tweener, not a 1, not a 2, but at the same time doesn't have one trait he excels at, like shooting or defending. He's kind of a C- across the board, which for an NBA role player is not what you're looking for. And look, I'll give Bronny some slack. This guy before the season started had a cardiac incident where he almost died. The fact this dude's even playing basketball, that on its own is a miracle. But here's the problem. After that cardiac incident, everyone understood Bronny. He's got to play 2-3 years in college, then go to the NBA. My biggest problem with this whole fiasco, he had a cardiac incident 1 year in college, an awful year in college, then boom, go to the NBA just like that. Bronny's overall journey to the league, it can only be described as manufactured and just kind of fugazi. And for a lot of top NBA prospects, the so-called one-and-done players, scouts, analysts, and fans most times put tons of pressure on these players. For Bronny, there really wasn't much pressure or attention on him or USC the entire season. The only time they were relevant, got any clicks, was when LeBron himself said Bronny could play on the current Lakers team and get minutes over his teammates.
You went full retard, man. Never go full retard.
That right there is downright delusional. Not only putting pressure on your son, but also dissing your teammates. And the day of those comments, it was March 7th, 2024. Bronny James on March 7th had a game with Arizona State. Bronny in said game, 0 points, 0 of 2 shooting, 0 of 1 from 3, 0 of 1 from line, with 1 turnover. Saying that version of Bronny James, the best version of Bronny, could get minutes on the Lakers in 2024, it's downright comical and disrespectful to your current teammates. And I want to make one last thing very clear. Bronny really his entire college career, really the entire season, was out of the NBA zeitgeist and pop culture. After LeBron's comments Bronny James the following day, the #1 topic on First Take Undisputed and all the sports shows. So again, LeBron James putting undue pressure on his son with comments that are flat out delusional. And the worst part of the whole Bronny fiasco to Lakers circus, this guy going straight to the NBA, not deserving it. It robbed him of the otherwise great college career that lasts 3 or 4 seasons. I mean, Bronny by age 22, 23, coming to the face of college basketball, making similar money he is with the LA Lakers. Instead, what did he do? Took the route of given, not earned. And the thing is, people in the media, NBA coaches, players, myself and you, we know it. Bronny James is the NBA because of his last name and his dad. And if you don't know this, look at JJ Redick. In their opening press comments for rookies, Dalton Connect and Bronny. What were Redick's first comments about Bronny?
With Bronny, I want to clarify one thing you just said, which is Rob and I did not give Bronny anything. Bronny has earned this.
I don't believe you.
If Bronny had earned this, a statement like that isn't necessary. But even Ridic, deep down, he knows. Bronny's a sideshow to the Lakers' circus. And I'm sorry to say it, he's probably a good guy, a great hard worker, but as an NBA player right now, not deserving of one of those 12 roster spots. And the great thing about football, basketball, baseball, and it's really sports in general, you can have all the hype in the world, all the press, all the coverage, but at the end of the day, you gotta perform, and at some point, the rubber hits the road. And for Bronny James, that rubber has hit the road pretty hard. As looking at Bronny so far in the Summer League, a carbon copy of the player he was in college. 5 points per game, 4 boards, nearly 2 assists, 23% shooting, and 0% from 3. Bronny so far in the Summer League shows flashes of great defense. Besides that, lacks confidence, he can't shoot, not a playmaker, my bigger guard gets bullied because of his 6'2 frame. This is the guy right here who was hyped up as a 3-and-D prospect for the Lakers. The only problem is, he can't shoot. People saying this guy could be Drew Holiday 2.0, a version of Drew, that's pure delusion. At this point, a Davion Mitchell, that's a stretch. What this comes down to is a lot of LeBron fans just being in denial. Bronny in the pros is the same player was in high school as well as college. A C- player across the board who doesn't excel at one specific thing. Is he a pretty decent all-around player? Yeah, probably. But for NBA standards as a role player, he's not it. And the biggest problem for LeBron fans, they're using Bronny as an extension of their favorite player and defend him like he's LeBron. That's where they get in trouble. Bronny James isn't LeBron. Stop forcing it. For a guy like LeBron James from year 1 to year 20, skill over ability was never the question. Was he hyped? Did the media inflate him? Of course they did. But LeBron's play always from day one backed up the hype. So far, Bronny James is the complete inverse. All hype, no substance. And for someone like Rich Paul to tell NBA teams, don't draft Bronny, he'll go to Australia. That just shows once again, this is a sideshow and a circus to the entire league. And even worse than that, Rich Paul made it explicitly clear, Bronny James is not a two-way player and two-way contracts are off the table. Well, that lasted about 2 weeks because Bronny played a couple of Summer League games and went from no G League, no two-way contracts to now the G League, that's where you're going. And look, that's the way it should go for a player like Bronny who isn't ready for the NBA. Which right there, the entire point of the video. LeBron James, Bronny's dad, tried to shoehorn a narrative into the NBA that his son wasn't ready for. Is it cool playing with your son? Yeah, it probably is. Will it be a good picture, a good memory? Undoubtedly. But Bronny at this point isn't ready for the NBA. And what you've done, you've hijacked his career to satisfy yourself and end your career. As always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.